Action.
Year 12 AS level PE types of practice. Going to kick it off with whole training. It's basically the whole skill being practiced rather than isolating just a subroutine. And you normally see you normally observe a demonstration before it. The advantage of it, it helps develop your awareness of the entire movement. Helps you to develop your schema. Does anyone else know of any advantages? Lloydie, can you help me out? No? Want to rack your brain there? Sophie.
Yeah.
Another advantage from you.
It keeps the practice fluent and you're not stopping and starting all the time.
Brilliant. Take a page out of her book. Disadvantages. It's difficult when you're practicing complex skills because you might not get the understanding of each part. You might struggle to do it as a whole without practicing first little of things. And sometimes beginners can struggle to execute the whole skill. They don't really know what's going on. So yeah, lots of good points, lots of bad. I'm going to leave it to Georgia.
Thank you. On to part practice. Now, I'm going to try and get through this with saying as little as possible. So, can anyone tell me what part practice is? Any ideas? Matt Newman, I see you're not listening. You've got any idea what part practice might be?
From the name part, it seems like you only do a part of it, so you do a little bit of a skill or a little bit of a game.
Well, that's very good. No, you were lucky there.
Thank you.
Okay, but pay attention from now on. Part practice actually involves the skill being broken down into its various sub-routines, get your keywords in, so that each part can be practiced separately to focus on specific cues. And then what do? We're going to knit it together, we put the sub-routines together, and then we make the whole skill. Anyone think of any examples that we might use? Any sporting examples where you'd use part practice? Triple jump. Is that triple jump, Sam?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And what would you do with the triple jump then?
Well, you practice your hop first,
Yeah.
make sure you get that smooth and fluent, and then go on to your step, and then finish off with the jump at the end, and then put them together and
Can you demonstrate?
the whole thing.
No, you can't ask the teacher to demonstrate. You should have detention.
Now, triple jump is a
At
very
the
good
moment,
example.
George Mitchell's the teacher's.
Let's simmer down. Right, triple jump is a very good example. That's something that we should definitely, one of the first things you think about, you see this question in the exam, get triple jump down. Very good example. Also, similarly, things like gymnastic routines, where you can practice different elements, or, of course, diving routines, where you can get on the trampoline and do different elements of that. Right, now, ideal to use when? Complex skills. Ideal to use for complex skills. They can be broken down, parts can be analysed. Any other ideas, Sophie?
If it's dangerous.
Yeah. Oh, very good. And?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
If the performer has a full motivation.
Very good, very good. Also, if the skill involves long sequences, it can be broken down, and also if it has low levels of organisation, so the skills don't all flow into one, they can be easily identified and practiced. On to some advantages. Of course, complex skills can be broken down into different subroutines. James, any other ideas?
You can focus on specific areas.
Yeah, very good, very good. What about, what stage do you think you would be using this in?
Probably the associative stage.
Okay, I'd say cognitive to associative, yeah. So, what's an advantage of using this in those stages?
You can use it for experienced performers.
Exactly, very good, very good. Also goes on to maintain motivation levels and gives time for recovery and, of course, lowers the element of risk. On to disadvantages, I'll just run through these because we've taken up a lot of time. It hinders development and continuity and timing of the complete skill, and it can reduce kinesthetic awareness. What do you understand by that? James?
How you feel your body moving and the positions that you feel your body getting into.
Yeah, and why would part practice hinder kinesthetic awareness?
Because it splits them up into subroutines, so then you might be able to do the
Very good, thank you. And finally, it might be difficult to transfer from part to whole, and it can be quite time consuming. Thank you everyone, you've done very well. Aidan.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. So, I will be talking about whole part, whole practice, or whole part, whole training. So, the basic principle of this is that this method of practice involves performing the whole skill and identifying any weaknesses. So, Lloydie, what are your weaknesses in your performance, would you say?
Get a bit hot heady.
Was that pirouette? Well, yeah, so therefore, so weaker parts of your full routine need to be practiced in isolation. So you perform your dance routine, and then we've identified that your pirouette needs tweaking, so point your toes in. And then, so we'll practice that in isolation. Good! Very good. Cross-quick links, I like that a lot. And then once we've practiced your pointing of the toes using plantar flexion, exactly, we'll put that back in the whole dance routine. So this would be, I'll ask a question. Danny, when would this be ideal to use? What scenarios? What situations? So I'll give her a hand.
Skill can be easily broken down, and
Can be
areas of improvement are easy to spot.
There is a spot. Really good, really good. One thing, I see you're staring into like this. Any advantages? Oh, sorry, my apologies. But any advantages that you can get from using whole part whole?
An overall feel for the movement is in its entirety, it's developed.
Good. Any more? Any more? No? You all out ideas? Marcus? How about you?
I think I covered it, so.
Did I cover it? Did you? Well, okay. I'll just read out two more that I did in my further reading. You can get a greater understanding of the skill, and it is also good for error correction in performance, obviously. And then we'll just move on to the disadvantages. The transfer may be difficult from performing the part skill to the whole skill. So like you said earlier in the triple jump, the performer may be able to perform the hop really well on its own, the step really well on its own, and the jump well on its own. But they may have trouble linking them all together. So they may be able to get the hop and the step, but the jump may not be very good, so that would have to be worked on in practice, but I think that's it. I think that is our lesson on all types of practice training.